I'm Ben Lands with APC Media.
I'm Seth Johnson. We're at DTech 2026. Please join us as we speak to industry leaders,
Gaining insights from experts in the utility industry. Join us to hear all about what people are doing to achieve affordable, reliable, and a resilient grid.
I'm here at DistribuTech 2026 with John Gounaris of G&W. John, great to have you here.
Yeah, pleasure meeting you.
Yes, pleasure meeting you. So tell us a little bit about your background and what your role is at G&W.
Yeah, so I'm the VP Marketing for G&W, and I've been in the industry for 25 years. Done a variety of different sales and marketing roles, been in customer facing, been working product management, marketing communications, all sorts of functions that relate to helping sell our products, helping solve our customers' problems. Like I said, for 25 years, and it's been an amazing industry to serve for that amount of time. I can tell you when I started, this was, very stable, consistent. We were solving the same kinds of problems over and over again. But this industry has seen just a remarkable transformation, and it still has so much more transformation to go through. It's one of the most exciting places, I think, to work.
So tell me a little bit about kind of where your focus has been on G&W to where you got to the point of VP of Marketing.
Oh, well, most of my focus has been, at least in the early part of my career, was really understanding products and applications at a fundamental level. Being an asset to our sales team, to our customers, to more fully explain the product, what our capabilities are. We're engineered to order and built to last, and that really means something at G&W. We like to customize products. We like to build it to the way the customer wants it, as opposed to maybe a cookie cutter approach or a standardized approach. And that has served us very well over the years, but that requires a level of technical assistance at the customer level to be able to explain what your capabilities are. That's kind of how I grew up at the company. And from there, I moved into product management and marketing type functions where, I've got a pretty good background in our customers and what they want and what the products are and where the markets are going. Now, can we help project that into where the company is going and what new products and solutions that we're going to need in the future? And there's no better time to be in this industry than right now.
Oh, absolutely. Industry is just palpable with change,
yes,
innovation.
So much excitement.
Absolutely. Engineered to order, built to last.
Yes.
Love that. Okay. Tell me about your customer base.
Yes.
Who are your customers?
So we're a global manufacturer. So I have manufacturing plants in 5 different countries. But our headquarters is in Bolingbrook, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago.
Okay.
But I manufacture in Brampton, Ontario, Canada, San Luis Potosí, Mexico, Shanghai, China. I also have 2 facilities in northern Italy, which is a great place to go visit, by the way. But the headquarters and where, frankly, most of our activity is in the Bolingbrook, Illinois area. And, the company is servicing customers primarily in the North American markets, but I literally have product on all 7 continents.
That's great.
So we're very proud to serve the global industry, but most of our customers would be, investor-owned utilities, electrical co-ops, municipalities. We're quite common in both the U.S., Canadian, and Mexican markets, but we also have a strong growing presence in the C&I markets.
Okay.
We've always historically done well in premium power applications, industrial applications, universities, hospitals, military bases, critical infrastructure like ports and things like that.
Yeah.
But lately, we've gotten a lot of traction and have a strong footprint into data centers, which is not a surprise. A lot of this industry has been is focusing quite a bit on that market just because it's probably the most critical infrastructure that's being built here in the beginning parts of the 21st century. So very proud to service that.
Absolutely. As you mentioned that, and we talk about industry trends, like data center, AI, electrification of mobility.
Yeah.
All of these topics are just, it's a very big focus for utilities as well as industrial commercial clients, globally. how are you guys seeing those trends, and how are you addressing that at G&W?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the key thing to understand is that, the grid is aged, particularly if we're talking about our core markets. But I mean, this is a global phenomenon where, I forget what the statistics are off the top of my head, but, your average transformer is over 40 years old, and, power lines are well beyond their serviceable life. And there's examples of that literally at every point of the grid: transmission, distribution, and even end of line. So a lot of the work that needs to be done is just to maintain the existing performance of the grid. And so building hardware that people are familiar with, things like switchgear and reclosers and sectionalizers, things that G&W has been building for decades, cable terminations, joints, things like that. I mean, we still manufacture those products, and we'll do so for the foreseeable future because people have to have this basic building blocks of the grid. But going beyond that, you've got reliability taking an impact everywhere in the developed world as a result of things like climate change. And just the fundamentals of the grid are changing dramatically. Bidirectional power flow, more inverter-based resources, much larger problems with power quality and harmonics impacting the grid, where even your tried and true solutions can't operate the same way that they did before because the grid that they're operating on is different.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue to evolve and change. So a lot of our development is focused on, yes, let's keep that hardware relevant because it's still needed, but it needs to be augmented with additional capability that goes beyond just your typical protection and control.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what a recloser does. Everybody knows what a switch does. It's not difficult to put a control or a relay, attach it to them, and they can do, all sorts of protection and control and automation, and all those things are important. And depending on who you are, which utility, what part of the C&I segment, your journey towards automation is probably at a different point. So there's still a lot of that going on, decades of that work still going on. But there's these additional applications where digitalization can add so much more efficiency and capability to the hardware that's being installed on the grid that goes well beyond just traditional protection and control. And we're really excited by that. And it's one of the reasons why we've made some recent investments in sensor technology, incorporating that into our products. We have partners today that 10 years ago, we didn't even think we needed to have partnerships with. And these are companies that are in the software space and the power quality space. Because our equipment, while it's focused on protection and control, can add significant value to utilities and in large industrials in monitoring power quality issues, having visibility of the grid, being able to improve not just the reliability, but the resiliency and the efficiency of how power is distributed. So, like I said, exciting times because all of this is converging at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, music to my ears.
Yeah.
I hear power quality, and then obviously that's an area that I personally focus.
Yeah, we've had to get a lot smarter about that.
Yes, absolutely. I really like the fact that you guys are now integrating, sensor technology. You've made an investment in that as part of your product offering. Tell me a little bit about how you guys are utilizing those sensors to really bring more data to your customers.
Yeah, so and for a lot of customers, it really just kind of depends on where they are in their digitalization journey.
Sure.
Right, so some customers are, let's just say at the beginning, whatever that means, increasing the amount of, protective devices on their system, trying to improve reliability, maybe trying to put a simple automation scheme. And if you're going to do even work like that requires basic sensing capabilities, voltage, current, that kind of stuff. But there are other utilities that are much further down the path where, yes, they've got, automation schemes. They've got some good visibility of their grid. Maybe their substations are fully, integrated in the SCADA and all that sort of stuff. But from our perspective, we really want to add a layer of capability that goes above and beyond just sensing voltage and sensing current. And we really want to understand how power is flowing within the grid, what the power quality situation is, how inverter-based resources are impacting what's happening on the grid. And that's not necessarily directly impacting protection and control, but that kind of visibility will eventually lead us into a future where we're shifting from a reactive power grid where something's got to happen for a switch or a recloser or a fuse or a cap bank to do something, to a more proactive future where we're able to sense, hey, something's going to happen over here, start paying attention. We've got a looming issue over here with power quality, figure out what's going on over there. And this is where sensors are really just a building block to enable that.
That's a great point. You know, I often use the term data indigestion. Okay. And that probably means something to you because, you know, absolutely everyone's talking about getting the data. But it's only as good as whatever it means.
Yes.
At the end of the day. Right. And so you have a lot of companies trying to put together, you know, large systems for data acquisition and, you know, utilizing machine learning and AI and all of that. And, you know, you being an organization who utilizes, you know, various different types of components and, you know, has to meet different customer specifications and requirements. How do you see that kind of playing into the future as you guys continue to innovate at G&W?
Yeah, so a core principle that we have is we want to stay true to the hardware that has built this company over 120 years. Mm-hmm. So G&W Electric started as a cable termination company. We got into switchgear 100 years ago, and we got into reclosers 25 years ago. And 25 years from now, people are still going to know us as a manufacturer of great switchgear, great reclosers, great cable accessories. We're still going to be known for that. But we also want to be known for having the ability to create not just data, because it's actually not that hard to create a lot of data with all the different sensors that are available, but to create knowledge and intelligence.
Yes.
And so that's going beyond just adding sensors. That's advanced communications. That's algorithms that can take the data and extract the insights.
Yeah.
And it's that next step where it's not just collecting the data, but actually doing something useful with it that is really driving our strategy for the foreseeable future. I mean, G&W has made an investment in a company called SafeGrid. SafeGrid is a wonderful company, a startup located in Finland, and their technology was focused on fault location, but it's going to be moving into more advanced applications that will allow us to use sensors, communications, and be able to begin to predict what's going to be happening on the grid. So we're getting into condition-based asset management type applications and helping customers see what's going to happen in the future versus just reacting to what's happening.
Yeah. Very great points. You know, and I think as I think about this, you know, and we're here at Distributech with all these utilities, you know, how are the utilities kind of taking in this information and what it is that G&W is putting together? I mean, have you noticed there's been, you know, that it's been kind of lagging a little bit? Or do you think, you know, hey, they're very proactive. They can't wait for the next generation of what it is that we're trying to put out?
If you would have asked me this question 10 years ago, I would have told me that the pace of change was noticeably faster, but still rather deliberate.
Yes.
Right? So very familiar to how the typical utility environment operates, which is conservative, relatively slow moving. What we see today is that rapid change is possible. But I think the important part to understand is as a manufacturer, we have to meet our customers where they are in their transformation journey. Some people, they really just want to add more traditional devices to do typical reliability improvement type projects. We can meet you there.
Yep.
Right? We still make that equipment, and we're very happy to support those customers. But there are others that are much more progressive and willing to push the envelope. And those are customers that we start with a conversation. Where are your pain points? And those customers really drive our digital transformation because they help us understand where we need to point this company for the next 10 years and beyond. I think the important thing to understand is no one's got the answer to this.
Yeah.
The utility, depending on which customer you're talking to, is moving at different rates. And the important thing that we think our customers are asking for is flexibility. Mm-hmm. So be able to integrate and package and bring multiple capabilities together, but don't give us a one-size-fits-all kind of solution, because no one really knows
Yeah.
what they may need 5 or 10 years from now. So flexibility is key, which is a G&W core competency.
Sure.
Being able to bring different partners together is something that we've done for years. I think the market is going to need more of that in the foreseeable future, because people don't want to be locked into one technology. They don't want to be locked into one partner. They want flexibility in how they're going to navigate this journey. We're going to be there with them to be flexible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that certainly is key, I feel like, and we see it, in many different aspects of the power distribution grid, even on the commercial industrial side. Where are things going to be in the future? Yeah, we don't know. But if I were to ask you in the future, where do you see G&W and, the level of innovation, what you guys are going to be doing in 5 years?
Yeah, so we're still going to be hardware-centric.
Yep.
You're still going to know us for great hardware, but we're going to augment that capability with a lot more ability to generate data and do something useful with it, so that you've got meaningful insights to be able to operate your grid more efficiently, more reliably. So it's really the transition from being from a reactive grid to a proactive grid.
Yep. Great. Well, John, it was great to have this interview with you.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
I really appreciate it, and I love to see what G&W is doing, and we'll certainly keep up with you.
We don't intend to be shy about it.
All right. Take care, my friend.
Thanks so much. We appreciate it.